Hey gang, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. Today's video, I'm unboxing a product that I got from a company called vevor, V-E-V-O-R. They contacted me and asked if I would be interested in what's in this box. Now, I was hesitant at first, but I decided let's give it a shot and see what this is. This should be an air bladder jack. So I'm going to open up the box, show you what's inside, and we're going to see if it works. So let's open it up. Alright, so there's some instructions right up here on the top, and it shows you this is what it looks like. And apparently when inflated, the jack, various, whatever. let's see what's in the box. That's pretty heavy. That's a lot heavier than it looks. So that is the bladder setup. You just set that on the floor for the moment. And then inside the box, it looks like we have the other pieces that make up the jack. I guess that's everything. Yeah. There you go. There's the name of the company right there, vevor. So it says max load is 5 tons, and this is in centimeters, but I think it's 14.5 centimeters to 40 centimeters, which I think is like 5 to about 15 inches. We've got a control valve here. There's 2 control valves by the looks of it. So one is air in, and the other is air out, and looks like a relief that you'd be able to pull to relieve pressure as well if you needed to. So interesting. We'll have to get all this connected and see how it works. When I say this is heavy, that's probably a good 25 pounds, if not more. I know I've got some dumbbells over here. This is 20 pounds. Yeah, it's probably a little more than that. So it looks like it has 3 different hooks on the side here where you can have it standing upright, come underneath, have the handle at an angle, and another angle there. So pretty safe to assume it's going to have a bolt down here in the bottom. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so there's a series of instructions on here. Matters needing attention. So I think it's just like warning. Talks about this lifting jack is only used in the process of rising and falling, and if to support the cart, please use the safety stands. This product can only be used for the skirt part of the car. Obviously there's some translation things going on with this. To show you that it says main body, connecting rod 1, connecting rod 2, and it says the tracheal passes through the connecting rod 1, and rod 1 is fixed to a bottom plate with 4 nut bolts. So I'm going to assume this is the tracheal. This is the tracheal. And then down here it says number 2, firstly pass the tracheal tube through the connecting rod 2 and in sheath the pneumatic connector nut in tracheal tube into the pneumatic layup of the controls and tighten the nuts. Do not use excessive force. Finally connect the spindle with bolts. Okay, so based on what I'm reading and seeing, they want this tube to go through the first or lower section of the handle, and then there's one large bolt that will fit through the hole in that bracket. I can't see because I'm looking, trying not to block the camera. Okay, so there's that. Now I want to make sure, yeah, it looks like it's centered anyway, so it doesn't matter, may not matter which side you have that tube on, whether it's on the top of the bolt or the bottom of the bolt. The tube has to slide in the inside of the assembly here. So then it has a nut that's going to go onto that. So I will need to tighten that up, obviously. It looks like it's about a 12 millimeter. So that'll be tightened up, and then we'll move to the upper portion. Okay, so it looks like this is a 13 millimeter. I'm going to take that loose. Take that tube back out for a second. Looks like there's a little bit of styrofoam caught up inside of that, so I may need to clean that out. Styrofoam out of that hole. There. Okay. So again, this tube will go up through that opening. And then you have to have the collar. Goes around the tube. And then it's going to connect onto that fitting. Okay, so that's on there. And then I'm going to move this nut over it. And this nut is a 13 millimeter. So that'll have to be tightened up. I think it'll be okay. Do not over tighten, they said. I guess I'll know if I over tighten it, because it'll fail. Okay. Now the question is, should I have to do something with the length of this tube, because obviously there's more material here than what needs to be here, and I don't know if you're supposed to trim it to the length you need. Maybe that was the whole point, I guess. So now we know. Let me take this back off. But I'm glad they made it longer than it needs to be rather than shorter. So what I think I'll do is put the upper handle on first. Now that I see that has to happen. And now here's the thing too. This is showing your control valves on the up. Oh, you can put it. I guess you can put the handle on either way if you wanted to. In the picture, it looks like the control valves are facing up, which makes sense. Makes it easier to see. But these don't slide together, which is interesting. It has these little channel plates, so you end up with one on top and one on the bottom. And then these bolts that go through. And these have little the little nylock nuts on them. So we'll need two 10 millimeter something, ratchet and socket and a wrench to bolt that together. So now what I may do, because my concern is when I move this handle, I'm actually moving around that tube a little bit and trying to pull on it. So I may kind of leave that tube a little bit long. Yeah. And I should point out as well that the bolt down here at the bottom that I had shown earlier, it's a think a 12 millimeter bolt head with a 13 millimeter nut. And I don't want to make that too tight, because it's got to be able to move so that you can lift it around. So again, I don't know that I want to make this super tight. What I may do, I don't know if I want to make it a loop or not. I'm going to shorten this up and put a little bit of pressure on it so that it's pushing down into the hole. Okay. Put the nut back on. Put this on. Now, interestingly enough, there's already an air fitting on this, so I hope it matches what I have on my hose. We'll find out. Okay, I'm going to hook up the air hose and open the green valve. Oh wow, that went up pretty quick. Okay, so I wonder what that height is. Let me grab a tape measure. So I think it's got like an over pressure relief on it, because if I open this up, at least I hope it does. Maybe what this valve here is on the top. I'm not going to test it and see if it's going to explode. That would be bad. So the height off the floor, 15.5 inches. So I'm going to open up the relief valve, the red handle. And there it's going down. Obviously there's no weight on it, so it's going to take a little more effort. Okay, that's all the way down. And the height is about 6 inches. About 6 inches. So that may be the only thing it could be a problem. I'm going to push that down and then close the valve so it doesn't backfill itself. So 5 3/4. 5 3/4. So let's see how well it works. It just so happens that I have a Bronco in the garage. More on that later. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm not sitting here running the jack and trying to get it to go up. Now, the vehicle moved a little bit, which is a conventional jack is probably going to be a little bit more stable in that aspect. But if you've got the wheels chalked and that sort of thing to help keep it from rolling around, I think it'll be good to go. Well, it seems to work. As I said, there are variables with this. So if you have a conventional jack where you have a wider or a longer length and some wheels on it, there's a little more value to that if you're concerned with some movement. If you are, let's say if you want to put this under the side of a car, maybe on a pinch weld, it might be a bit more stable. Or like I said, if you put blocks underneath your wheels or chocks so that the vehicle can't move, that would help as well. I wouldn't use this necessarily as a something to hold it and then crawl underneath the car. I would lift it and then put jack stands underneath it to be safe. I will post a link for this in the description below if you're interested. If you're not, that's fine too. I appreciate them sending me this to let me try it out. And hey, always interested in something new. So thanks for watching. If you would, leave a comment and a thumbs up on this video. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See you.